Raider Nation, what's up, man? Welcome to Show Me Your Shield Sunday edition here. The Raiders have entered the next phase of the offseason. OTAs are underway. Minicamp is around the corner, and everyone is trying to figure out what's real and what's just summer hype. Tonight, Duncan and I are going to separate the facts from the fan fiction and discuss what OTAs and minicamp actually tell us about this football team. So if you're interested, which you should be, because we're not going to cut any bullcrap, we're going to tell you how we feel. But till then,
Raider Nation! Stop scrolling. The silver and black conversation starts right here. Hot takes, real fans, no filters. This is the show where Raider Nation speaks. So crank it up! And show me your shield!
Welcome, Raider Nation. Show Me Your Shield. We are here. It's myself, JD, Raiders First Downs. My partner over here, the other way.
Yep.
DonutsDuncan, a.k.a. the Professor. Going to come at you a little live tonight, talk a little OTAs, some mini camps, what's cooking, what's brewing. We're winding down the off-season program and getting ready to go into a dead period, which a lot of us really don't care for, but it's part of the NFL season, right? So we kind of got to embrace it a little bit. So, Duncan, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Enjoying the Sunday. Went in for work for a couple hours, just get a job done, and then just chilling with the family.
Mm-hmm. That's good time. Sundays, sometimes just having a nice, easy Sunday. No events, no nothing. Just hanging out with the family, have a good lunch or good dinner, watch a couple movies, whatever. Kind of makes it nice. And I'll be quite honest with you, we haven't done a lot of shows the last few weeks. I, myself, and you, we haven't done a whole lot. But you know what? It's been kind of peaceful. But once we get this thing going come July, there's going to be you're going to see a lot of us. And for those of you that are in the chat, 13 of you are popping in. Hit those buttons, hit those likes, subscribe. Hop over to Duncan's channel and subscribe to his channel as well. We're trying to get our subscriptions up, so we can show what we really are about. Tonight I had a little trivia program set up, ready to go, but for some reason the file would not carry over. So I got some IT work I got to do behind the scenes to get that going. But once it gets going, it's going to be a lot of fun. I might be able to stump a few of you. But in the meantime, Duncan, you want to give a shout out to who's in the chat with us right now?
Yeah. We got Sacktown Raider Mike saying what's up. How you doing?
What's up, Sacktown?
Jack Gustafest.
Yep. He's in here, loyal.
Yep.
Hey, Raider Ryan popped in real early, about 2:30. But Raider Ryan, if you're still here, shout out to you. Along with all the other guys out there. But we're going to talk a little OTAs. Maybe we'll get some people mad. Maybe we'll make some people happy. Remember, let's debate. If you got it, we can do it.
Yeah.
So, Duncan, I'm going to start off with this, my friend. What is the purpose of OTAs? Can you tell me?
I would say there's two different answers depending on if you have a new coaching staff or not. But general basis is it's time for the coaches, both offense and defensively, to set up their program to show the players what the pace of things are going to be for practices and what they're expecting out of the team. Really to just set the tone on what they want to be able to do going into the preseason.
Right. And like I said a couple shows back, really in all honesty, OTAs are practice for practice.
Yeah.
So they're practicing today so that when they get into training camp, they've already practiced the practice, and then now they could ramp it up a little bit more. So your installation, your game, the installation of the offense, installation of defense schemes, things like that will be more prevalent. It's going to come hot and heavy, especially these young guys that are coming out of college. It's going to come at them fast. So the next 6 weeks after minicamp is end of this week, and then 6 weeks after that until training camp. And they better stay in that playbook because they show up in July. We ain't got time to mess around because the practice is limited. We ain't got time for you to go over to the sideline and start reading your playbook. You need to know it right now.
Yeah.
So, and I know the practices are way different. It's so time limited now, contact limited. So there's all kinds of variables in today's football versus yesterday's football, and I think a lot of that it starts to as we go on, towards the season, and you've seen it in the past few years, especially when we went to a 17-game schedule. Really, in all honesty, that first game of the season plays out just like a preseason game. The pace of it, the quality is not much greater than a preseason game. What do you think? What do you think causes that?
Can you repeat the question?
So when we go into the first game of the season, and this isn't just a Raider thing, this is everybody, the entire NFL. The first game of the season when they kick off, the quality of play just isn't quite what we're expecting, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit why that is, what causes that.
Well, I think the biggest thing is the contact for offensive linemen. Like, they're not fully broken in yet. They're not fully flowing yet. So offensive line can be caught off guard a lot stiffer, I guess. They're not as good flowing yet. Like last year, Seattle is a perfect example. Like, they started off okay, but then by the time the end of the season came around, they were fully going and just being able to run the ball a lot more efficiently.
Nah.
Also, I think defenses are allowed to be a little bit more aggressive early on because offenses just aren't fully dialed in yet. Like, the receivers aren't fully in tune with how the quarterbacks want to run a play, specifically on the timing and everything. Quarterbacks can be a little bit off on their reads because it's just a completely different pace once you get to that game time.
Nah.
So quarterbacks could be half a step slow, offensive line stiff, running backs aren't used to contact yet, so they can get injuries a little bit easier early in the season. So offense kind of has a step behind the defense when it comes to early on.
Also, I think too is that you hear the football shape, right? Are they in football shape? And I don't really see a whole lot of the players being in supreme football shape when we hit week 1, which to me that lowers the quality of the NFL and pro football in and of itself. At least like in college, they're already in spring practice, they're tackling. They got full pads, they're tackling. They're scrimmaging in the spring. And then when they come back, then they just have to build that callousness up a little bit more for game speed. But just what is your overall take so far of the OTAs? What you've seen, what you've heard.
I mean, overall, it's just nothing but good stuff that we're hearing about the Raiders so far, which is nice to hear. But I mean, after dealing with so much unsuccessful seasons and all we hear before the actual season start is positives, like I want to make it through till we start actually playing games before I start deciding whether I'm going to buy into the hype or not. It's always nice hearing the positives, like hearing about Mendoza being able to what Kubiak said, he's exactly as advertised. Very intelligent, smart quarterback that really hungry to learn and get the system down pat, and is just asking as many questions as possible to make sure he knows it. So, like, it's nice to hear, but I want to see it on the field.
Right. And that's my thing with OTAs is, well, we'll just cut to it. Are you salivating about the hype coming from the OTAs, or are you just curious?
I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, I like hearing Trey Tucker's name being brought up multiple times over Kubiak's press conferences. I know on the last one, he kind of hinted at Trey Tucker being similar to other receivers he's coached. That's really nice, but I want to see it on the field. I don't want to just see the headlines.
Yeah. sometimes those compliments I think would be better behind closed doors and out in the media, because then it starts to go, well, whoa, timeout. We've seen him the last 3 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no knock on Trey Tucker. He's got a lot of talent. He's got the talent, right? It just hasn't happened. And much to his chagrin, constant turnover, no consistency in the coaching staff. Um, no absolute number one wide receiver. Injuries to Brock Bowers, putting a little bit more pressure on him. And then, like last year, I think Chip Kelly was more fascinated with using him in a shorter distance, into rounds, maybe a bubble screen or something to that effect. But really, in all honesty, everything that was either, and I heard JT the Brick say this, everything that they practiced in Henderson during the week, seems like none of it was ran during the game.
Yeah.
It's like they were absolutely calling plays that weren't even practiced, and you can see it.
That's just setting your team up for failure right there. Like
Yeah.
when you're trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel in your playbook that you haven't even practiced, like
Right.
it's never going to work. You
Right.
can't be drawing plays in the sand for your team in the middle of the game.
Yeah, or on the palm of your hand. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was like, you're going to go here. It was like, okay, I want you to go here. You're going to go to the car. Then you're going to make a left butt hook right there at the car. You're going to go to the front tire, type thing. So, yeah, we don't need that. These guys need to be running plays that are designed with, that are called like professionals, not like Pop Warner, not like high school, and even not like college. This is the pros. So it needs to be done the right way.
Yeah. Salute to Rosetown. Nice seeing it in here.
What's up, Rosetown? Thanks for coming in. Got one of our mods in here.
Yeah. Cause the Oak. Nice seeing you in here. You had a couple comments already. Clint is too stiff-lipped for a historically wild and drunk-ass nation.
Yeah.
Maybe, but ultimately, all that matters is winning. If he starts winning, that cures everything.
That's what it comes down to. I don't care. I don't care if you win the press conference.
Yeah. He can go up there looking like tape face for all I care. I don't give a shit. If he's winning, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So, but anyways, any of you guys in the chat, man, you want the question, comment out there? How do you feel about the OTAs? What you've seen so far? Are you excited about what you see, or is it another one of those? We do this every off season, where hype, and then come September, it's like, wasn't expecting that. Yeah. So, put together some polls here for us. Let's start out with this. If you guys could read this poll, what do you feel is the most important part of OTAs and minicamp? 1, building relationships. 2, learning the system. Or 3, making plays. So in the chat, type 1 if you think it's building relationships. Type 2 if you think learning the system. Or type 3, making plays and being impressive. So just hit those buttons. You don't have to comment. Just hit the number, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But
even if you do want to leave a comment, do it after you put the number in.
Yeah, just wait until after you put the number in. Otherwise, it won't register. So, but long and short of it, OTAs are very important, especially when you're bringing in a whole new coaching staff. How many rookies we got? 31 rookies in camp.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous number. But hey, going from the absolute worst team in the NFL where you earn the first overall pick, I mean, I kind of like having that many rookies because it really shows they're trying to turn it around.
Yeah.
And the vets that they brought in, they weren't old vets where they're 29, 30, past 30. Like, we got a few 25-year-olds, 26, 27-year-olds, like, where they're going to be good for a few years.
Yeah. Unlike after we got away from the Mayock Gruden regime, believe it or not, we still got a good amount of Telesco and Spytek's first year still in the building.
Well, I would hope so, because those guys are still on rookie contracts.
Well, but that's just it. How many of those guys were gone after the second year?
From Gruden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that didn't set us back. That absolutely is horrible. Now, am I saying that who the players that we drafted this year and last year are going to make up that difference? it remains to be seen, right? I mean, I'm confident in a couple of the draft picks. Some of them, I'm like, okay, well, it might. We'll see how their professional bodies and they grow into their manhood and get their man bodies, and we'll see how it goes from there. Because and I know sometimes these guys they come out. In fact, the other day I saw a picture of Derek Carr and Khalil Mack after their first training camp. They were side by side doing some charity event.
Yeah,
they look like little kids, and it's like they don't look like that no more. So they grow into their man body, and they get more the more muscular. They're smarter. Now it's their profession, so their bodies are a tool in the profession. Max Crosby's another example. I mean, what was he like?
he looked
200,
completely different.
245, 250 pounds at 6'6",
Yeah.
So he's completely different. And these guys that are rookies coming in, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to eventually, it might not be this year, but, come next year, they're going to grow into their man bodies. And a lot of people say, oh, next year. You know what? Everything that we've done this year is for next year. I mean, that be quite honest. This year, believe it or not, this year is going to be, brace yourself, Raider Nation. This is an evaluation season. It really is. So if we sneak out some wins, that's great. That's awesome. But for the most part, it's all about development, getting better, and start to develop that chemistry and that that winning mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we got Ardell in here.
Salute, Ardell. Thanks for coming in, brother. Hey, there's 22 of you in here. Get them thumbs rolling.
Yeah. Saying Mendoza. And Cause the Oak saying, I hate holy roller quarterbacks. What were you thinking, Spytech? Get you a snake at quarterback. I mean, I understand the feeling. Everybody has their preference on type of characters they want in certain positions or every position. And problem is, we're completely changing the culture of the Las Vegas Raiders right now between Spytech, Kubiak, and now drafting Mendoza, and then even the free agent quarterback that we brought in, Captain Kirk. Like, they're all straight-laced guys. That's how all of them are. That's what they want. They want quiet guys that are going to come in, do their job, do what they need to succeed, and then be able to not have to worry about them outside the building.
Yeah.
And it's just creates a type of consistency from the players that you can expect. So, and a team building aspect that's kind of like considered a safe route. Michael Guerrero coming in, Jason Downs, 2028. Keep preaching it, brother.
I might run for president. I don't
know. You think Carr's holy roller ass was polarizing? Now we got a gay ass Mendoza holy roller.
Yeah.
Way. I mean, I will safely say Carr was not our issue when he was our quarterback. He had zero defense. The offense was a mess every other season. Carr was never the biggest issue on our team, but we can keep talking about that if that's what we want to talk about.
There are some things in his game that did regress after 2016. But by 2018, 2019,
he never looked the same after that. But also, when he keeps going through coaches and they keep changing the offense, what player is going to be ultra successful like that? There isn't one. And that's another thing to add on to this current team that we have. On the offensive side, these players that have been here for 3 or 4 years, they've had pretty much a new play caller every single year. And then the last 3 years, they've had 2 different play callers each season. It's like you're not going to have any success as a player or a franchise like that. Thank you. I don't want the power or responsibility. Too much work. I like Kirko. I rather keep that guy. Kirko's just as straight-laced as Mendoza. Just because he has a meme of Kirko chains, or you like that because he gets feisty in the heat of the moment. I mean, like, Mendoza's shown he's exactly like that.
Yeah, a lot of people are mistaken Mendoza's character. They really are. And that um, documentary that Rodney put out really, really tells the whole thing. And
Yeah.
I know when he does his press conferences, like on the moment with the microphone in his face in front of a group of people, it's a little different for him, right? But when he has his sit down one on one conversations with people in a controlled atmosphere, there's nothing wrong with him. And believe it or not, the cultural differences that a lot of people assume he's going to have such a hard time with, it's absolutely false. He is not going to have a hard time with it. If you saw some of the things he did at Cal Berkeley in East Oakland as a student athlete, he has no issues with cultural differences. So, I mean, I don't know where this comes from, because you see one press conference and he breaks down in tears and he's shouting, and but and go back and I look at some of the like his highs. Oh, look, he's a crybaby. Okay, now go watch Mark Ingram's Heisman vote. Watch Bryce Young's Heisman. Watch a lot of these guys where they break down and start crying. Are they crybabies? No, it's an emotion. There's nothing wrong with that. Let it go.
Yeah.
At least here's the one thing about Mendoza that I will say, and I'm comfortable in saying it in my own skin. What you see is what you're going to get. He's honest and true, and he's not going to try and be somebody he's not.
Yeah.
Which I respect that more than anything.
Cause of saying giddy ass foos like Mendoza is not natural. That's fine. I don't care if the guy has is two-faced. If he's winning on the field, that's all that matters. So I will give him time to succeed, and if he doesn't succeed, okay,
try it again.
Plan. But if he's succeeding and he's winning and he's leading this team, like, I don't give a shit.
It doesn't matter to me.
Throwing the double middle finger to every single reporter out there. I don't care. No. If he's winning, he's my quarterback.
Question for you here. I threw it up in the banner. Are we better, and are you comfortable with the dialogue and the pressers that we're getting?
I think we are better and comfortable with the dialogue. Frankly, I don't really care about the dialogue and the pressers as far as like the questions asked and all that. But from what Kubiak, Spytek have been talking about since they've gone through this leading up to the draft until now, like they've been telling us exactly what they want to happen and what needs to be done. And they've pretty much stuck to that. They drafted exactly like how they were saying what players they needed and all that. And until they prove it otherwise, like I'm going to trust in it.
Yeah, I like their approach is less is more.
Yeah,
less that is said at the podium, the more we have to gain. I think sometimes coaches will become fools of themselves up at the podium, and I don't really see that with Kubiak. I think Kubiak is pretty much. I mean, it's like I said earlier. I mean, I don't care if you win the press conference. That's not, if that's all you say is I'm here so I don't get fined and on to Cleveland. We're on to Cleveland. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. If that's all you say, I'm good with it, man. Just show me what's happening on Sundays. You know what I mean? Maybe have a little. There's going to be these. Everybody is misconstruing the fact that they don't think that the people that we brought in, the new quarterbacks, the coaches, and that they don't have a fire in them, right? Like a desire. They do. They just go about it a different way,
Yeah.
So
it kind of reminds me of how like I was taught growing up in football and little league. Like it was always preached to us is you talk with your pads, not your mouth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why are you wasting energy on that garbage? Go hit that guy across from you. Yeah. It's just wasted time.
Yeah.
I don't care about yappers. If they're going out and putting that play on the field, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like Kazago is needs a little love.
Speaking of the chat, Robert Pena's in
Robert Pena. What is up, my brother? How's that white knight running? So yeah, I love his car, man. He showed me pictures of his car. It's like that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a nice car. Um, but you know, getting back to OTAs a little bit, and um, you know, there's a lot of hype as to um, people making comments about, oh, look at that throw, look at that catch, oh, this guy did this guy did that. Those are great things, and the guys that are reporting on the OTAs, the beat writers and stuff like that, they have to do something to sell. You know what I mean? They can't just go, I showed up, they threw some passes, it was a good day. You know what I mean? That's not going to work for them. So they're going to have to, kind of maybe, I wouldn't say embellish per se, but just override stuff that really, in all honesty, at this point in time, doesn't really matter. But there are some really good things about OTAs that I do like hearing. And one of the things is like Trey Zune, right? They're trying him they're moving him in different positions. And that's what they drafted him for, right? And it's only going to take him to hit one time, and he's not leaving his position.
Yeah.
And I'm super confident. He's a football player. He's definitely a football player. And the right tackle, right guard thing, if one of those two hit, win-win. And if for some reason it's like, he's almost there, but we're going to just run him as a backup for now, I'm okay with that too. I mean, he was a late third-round pick, and, so we got to kind of, develop him a little bit. Grant Rogers should be farther along than him, obviously, but the kid played in the SEC against some of the best talent. Yeah. So he should be, he should be, and a lot of people, beat the drum that the SEC is the closest thing to NFL that there is. And it's still kind of true with the line, offense and defensive linemen.
Yeah.
And running backs.
I did hear other news that Grant did start taking snaps at right tackle also.
Right.
So they're really trying to figure out who's going to be best for them to start the season out at that spot, which is good. I don't like just saying, well, Glaze was the starter last year, so he's just going to start this year. I don't like that. Like, Glaze had issues last year. We all know it. Mm-hmm. And personally, I like Glaze, but keep bringing in the competition. Push the guy. Mm-hmm. Like, until he starts actually performing at a very high level, like, always compete for it.
Nah. And that's a key thing when we start talking about DJ Glaze is he's going to be in that chase the rabbit mode, because you're only one draft away from being replaced. So if you want that position, it's not you're just because you're the incumbent doesn't necessarily guarantee you that spot. So there's guys that are coming in that are going to want that spot. And if I was Trey Zune, like, I could beat that guy. Just put me a right tackle. I'll show you. Yeah. And he'll be a starting right tackle.
Zune's going to be that guy where an injury is going to happen during the season and he'll step in and then he'll run with it the rest of the season, like you're saying.
Yep. And I know a lot of people are like, Burford's running with the ones. Okay, stop. It's okay. He's gonna run with the ones in OTAs without pads. That's okay. He knows the offense a little bit better than what Rogers and JPJ and Trey Zune and Meredith might have a little bit of the wide zone concepts. Been in the league long enough to figure it out a little quicker than the other guys. But for the most part, it's not that big a deal, guys. Here's where I'm gonna hit directly with this situation. When we go into training camp, they should have enough self-scouting from what they've done through the draft, through OTAs, to what they're seeing to go, these are the 5 guys. We're going to run with them until they fail, they fail. And don't do this, well, next week we're going to try this guy at center. Or we're going to try this guy at left tackle. And then we're going to move Colton Miller to right guard. Crap like that, right? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Have an idea who your top 5 guys are in the offensive line. Have your 2 primo backups ready to insert, and then your camp guys, your guys that are going to be playing mostly the first and second preseason game, or the second and third preseason game. You're going to get most of the reps in those games. You have them guys hook up and start building, and just build. Every day we're going to get better. And long story short, this coaching staff that we have, if anybody knows how to coach these guys the right way, is the offensive line coach that we have.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, he's the OG.
Yep. He will go down in history as a top 10 offensive line coaches, with the likes of Howard Mudd and Bill Callahan and Joe Bugle of the world. He will go down. His lineage, what he's done, he's been successful everywhere he's been as a line coach, everywhere. Even the one he gets hooked up with the coaching staff, that the whole coaching staff gets fired, but it wasn't because of him, but he's got to go because they all went too. So, but his lineage and where he comes from, and he comes from the holy grail of the wide zone concepts, So if there's anybody that's still coaching out there that knows the wide zone concepts, it's probably going to be him. So buckle up. And I heard a comment on one of the radio programs that I'd listened to, that just the addition of him alone is going to improve our offensive line immensely. We're not going to be the 33rd ranked offensive line in the NFL again. All right. So it's going to be better. We got Tyler Linderbaum, fixed a huge problem there. Great. His leadership, his talent, what he brings to this organization, that center position, done. And he's one of those guys that can elevate the 2 guards next to him and get them to play better too. So I'm excited about that. That's not hype. That's just, I'm going with what has happened in the past and who these people really are. And I don't see it being any other way. They're going to be better. Yes, I want to wait until the season starts. I get it. A lot of people are like that, and you should be, because we've been bullied around with this crap for last 25 years. Okay, so I'm not sweating you at all with your opinion on that, because in a roundabout way, I'm the same way. I want to wait until September, but I just know that it is going to be better. How much better? Who knows?
Oh, I think it's definitely going to be better. I mean, we already have the addition by subtraction by getting rid of Carroll's.
Mm-hmm.
And then to bring in a veteran offensive line coach to add on to that, who's a very good teacher. And that's something that Kubiak constantly expresses what he wants from his coaching staff, is to be teachers. We have a young team. This coaching staff gets in there and can get these guys buying in and really working for the system. It's going to be night and day from last season.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, we should be expecting playoffs or hoping for playoffs or anything like that. It's not like that. It's setting up the foundation so we can continue to build off the foundation and find success through continual building.
Yeah. And no more of this 31-0 crap. No more of this some guy taking or some team taking a knee with 4 minutes left in the game. They're in victory formation with 4 minutes to go in the game. Why? Well, because they know the Raiders aren't going to score. So let's see. What's up, Raider Jeff? Salute to you. Jeff, if you can do me a favor, Harry Camp Vampire needs a little Piano Man love. If you can take care of that for us on the mod side, appreciate it. Cat's the Oak. I know you're keeping your chats pretty good. Just be a little respectful. All right. I know there's adults in the room, but sometimes we want to talk about football and not people's sexuality and things like that. So But because if you really want to get deep and down with it, I could be a punk ass if you want me to, but I'm not going to. This is a show that we're supposed to have a little fun with.
Yeah. And that show's
Yeah.
about the Raiders. We don't need
Yeah,
to be talking
it's
about
about
any
the
of this
Raiders.
stuff. But
So I'm going to ask you
Well-
this: who do you think benefits from the OTAs the most?
I mean, I would say it's split between the coaching staff and then the relationship between the quarterback and receivers.
Okay.
I mean, I say coaching staff because it's really their time to shine, to be able to instill the whole program and what's expected of the players and the team and fellow coaches and everything.
Yeah.
And being able to really hit the ground running because you're successful at teaching people in the OTAs is a great thing. Then as far as the quarterback and receiver relationship, like, it really helps get the timing down for routes and receivers catching that spin from the quarterback, because every quarterback throws it a little differently.
Yeah.
Luckily, we don't have any lefty quarterbacks, so don't got to worry about that either. But
Yeah.
don't really think it benefits the O-line as far as blocking goes, but as far as like learning the schemes and how they need to block, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Footwork, timing,
Yeah.
those are important. Little footwork and timing work. I mean, as far as the meat and potatoes of football, not so much, because they're not hitting, they're not tackling, you know. But I see the, like, first and foremost, building those relationships, because you got so many new players coming together, new faces, you know, new characters, new personalities, getting to learn each other. You know, on and off the field, you know, who's got the practice habits, who doesn't have the practice habits, who do, you know, and you start to see that. But there's in the poll that we have is, you know, building relationships, learning the system, making plays. Now, there are some people that show up OTAs and want to just ball out and make plays. Well, that's good if you're UDFA. That's what we want to see. You know, we want to see that you're hungry, because ultimately you got to get that camp invite, right? So you come in as UDFA, you can only take 90 into camp. And if you're not one of those 90, they're going to let you go and find somebody else to bring into camp that maybe can compete a little bit better and be productive. So you got to kind of show your worth. You know, if you make mistakes on Monday, do you correct them on Tuesday? You know, but yeah, building those relationships, learning the system, those are some pretty key things. I mean, it's the found, like you said earlier, it's brick by brick, just laying that foundation, just kind of going through and making sure that everybody knows each other's names, you know. So I don't have anything else to add on that. Well, what about you?
No, I mean, it's same thing. Like, just continue building the relationships, learning the system. I mean, ultimately, I think learning the system's the biggest thing, just because that's what you're going to be running all season. Relationships, I think, are built better through the forge of the fire. So as the season's going on and those bullets are flying, like, that's where your real relationships start getting built. Is like, you see what guys you can trust and how they play, and how you can start expecting how they play and build off of that.
The real camaraderie. And if anybody's ever played football, no matter what level of football you've ever played at, so my highest level goes to high school. I stop at high school. I didn't go to junior college and play college, and I didn't play in the pros. But you build those relationships when you're doing those really sweaty, grindy, difficult days with the guys in the trenches, especially the guys in the trenches. And you start to develop those relationships. And now, you know, like 30 years later, you see those guys at the grocery store or whatever. It's a brotherhood. You know, you still have that connect with them from those days of, you know, when it was, when you didn't feel right, but you still had to, you know, give it 110% and, you know, puke up your lunch a couple times or whatever you had for breakfast, you know. So that's where you're absolutely right. The camaraderie really starts to develop in regular training camp. But with the OTAs, developing those cornerstone relationships as to, you know, who this person is, where they came from, what school did they go to, learn about them, especially with the rookies, because you know what? They'll get tested on it. A lot of coaches test you on it. Hey, that's so and so. What school did he go to? Where's he from? You probably should know. That's your
Yeah.
teammate. So
Well, I mean, yes and no. Again, ultimately, what matters is winning on the field. Like, it's nice to be able to know those things and have relationships with your teammates because it does build that camaraderie. But okay, you and I can be best friends, but if we're not working well together on that field and resulting in wins, like, what does it matter?
no. Yep. Coming together with the ultimate goal is the ultimate. So here's a question for you. Who does not benefit from OTAs and minicamp?
People not participating.
So the guys that are camp they're staying away from OTAs and stuff, and you can't blame them with their if they don't have any guaranteed money and stuff, that it's too big of a risk to go to OTAs and take that chance, and I totally understand that, but sometimes still showing up, do a hold in instead of a hold out, because OTAs is just that, it's optional, it's voluntary. So, but if you still show up and you're, participating like in meetings and workouts and, getting to know your fellow teammates, that's beneficial too. I mean, you see it. I mean, Max is rehabbing his knee, so he's not actually participating he's doing the warm ups and the stretches and things like that and all that and building his relationships on the field with these guys. But until the pads come on, really, in all honesty, that's all he's there. But I think Max also accepts the fact that people look to him to be the leader of that defense.
Yeah.
So, and the leader of the team until further notice. But I know some guys have showed up, participated, and a couple guys dipped out a little early because they got other things going on. They got family. Might have a graduation they need to go to, or a birth of a child, or something to that effect that maybe might be a little bit more important, because there's going to be more OTAs in their careers. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be at every OTA, but it does help when everybody does show up. Yeah. So who do you think? So who does not benefit from OTAs besides the people that don't show up? Let's just say the participants. Who doesn't benefit?
Not sure. I would assume everyone benefits a little bit. I mean, just being able to be around your teammates and everything like that has a benefit to itself. Learning the system that's going to be ran, hopefully during the season, like has a benefit in itself. Other than that, I guess the players that end up getting injured, obviously that doesn't benefit them. Players that go in just not thinking it's worth their time, they're just showing up to show up. Like, I guess that doesn't benefit them. But
right.
As far as like a position group or anything like that, I don't see how it does or does hurt. I don't see how it doesn't benefit them by them not being there.
So in a roundabout way, OTAs are very important, and in their own set of circumstances, and how you do it, how you look at it, they're important. But for the most part, for fans to get super excited and hyped up about a play that was made, or so and so did this and so did that, that's great. I mean, I don't want to hear negative stuff. Obviously, I don't want to hear that so and so threw the ball 15 times and 14 of them hit the ground.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because and beat writers, if they're an honest, true, hardworking beat writer that has access to the team, they'll be honest. They'll tell you, this guy doesn't look good. He's not gonna, because that sells papers just like everything else. So they're going to be honest. Sometimes they're going to be honest. And then there's those beat writers that are going to tell you bad things that, they're just doing it before the advent of YouTube podcasting. They were doing it for clicks too, way back in the day. So,
yeah.
So you got to take everything with a grain of salt and be diligent and who you trust with the information that comes out of camp.
Yeah. Kaz had some input on basically the camaraderie and stuff between the teammates and everything. Says it's cute until you realize the team won't move an inch if you don't respect a brother. The team will forgo everything if you don't respect a brother. Well, yeah, I agree. But again, you and I could be best friends and great teammates and all that. But if we end up going on a 10-game losing streak, that gets stretched mightily fine. Like those relationships ultimately don't last through those contracts because, hey, that's their job. They're there to win and they get paid more money by winning. And if we're losing, and I think it's partially because of you, like they're really starting to think that. Uh, and then also, you did say respect. That's completely different too. Like it's completely different. It's one thing to respect your teammate, and it's completely other thing to have a great relationship with them. Like those are two different things.
Mhm.
I respect all my teammates, and I want them to respect me. And the best way I can get that respect is by me doing my job. It's not by me going to the nightclub with you and buying you drinks. Like
Right.
that's not respect. That's me trying to be your buddy.
Right. Right. Showing up, doing your job, being the new phrase that I've heard a lot, being one of the 11. I heard,
Yeah,
was it Stooks said that the other day, and or Stokes, just being one of the 11,
yeah,
and doing your job. And
yeah,
respect is or not given. Robert P is absolutely 100% right. You got to earn it.
yeah,
And when you come in OTAs, don't expect too much out of it, but make sure that you know that you're going to do your part going forward, and that your fellow teammates can depend on you. So
yeah.
when you guys do show up, and when you do show up in July, everybody's ready. You know, and you'll know who went and sat on the beach and drank Mai Tais for 6 weeks versus those that actually, when they walked out and start putting a little extra work in, start getting getting their bodies camp ready and their minds, and studying the playbook, and you know things like that. But in the long, also too, I want to bring this up. What usually happens after they break mini camp and there's that 6 week gap between mini camp and training camp? And this is relevant throughout the NFL.
Uh,
Something that always happens.
Players getting in trouble because they go
Yeah.
on vacation.
Yeah.
Who's going out and fooling around and getting in trouble with the law, and who's sitting there working their tail off behind the scenes to be ready.
Exactly. And one of the things that I was last year when we went into training camp, the first week or two, was like, okay, no drama. There's been no drama. This is weird. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, the Christian Wilkins thing popped up.
Eh,
Like, well, here we go again, Raider fans. Another year of drama.
Yeah.
No,
Ho-
no.
Hopefully, our drama was the whole Max trade. I mean,
Get that out of the way. And you know
yeah,
what? That wasn't from our. That's not our doing.
no,
So,
no, it's not. But I'm just saying, I hope like that's it.
yeah.
I
And
don't
the,
need.
and the weird thing about that is the media actually backed us up on that.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, wow, the Raiders can't make a trade for that, or it's their fault this trade didn't go through,
Well,
and
I
they're
mean,
like,
the bottom
eh,
line is they were trading for a player that was hurt. Like everybody
yeah,
and their mother knew he was hurt, and everybody knew the earliest he'd be back healthy was June.
yeah.
Like you traded for that.
Who called
Uh,
who?
Yeah, it was 100% buyer's remorse.
Eh, who called who? I'm sure we didn't call the Ravens and say, hey, you guys want Max Crosby? Yeah, give us 2 first-round picks. We'll give them to you. Okay.
Yeah,
That's not how that went. The people were
yeah,
calling the teams were calling the Raiders, and I'm
yeah,
sure some of those teams were like, he's injured. We don't want to give you all this draft capital right up front, type thing. And I'm sure people tested the water a little bit, but obviously 2 first-round picks for him is like, that's hard to pass up.
yeah.
That was hard to
Cause
pass up.
has a point here though, or like news and stuff when it comes to OTAs. Teams never disclose what's really going on, but you and I can read between the lines.
Exactly.
We can read between the lines, but you also gotta be careful on whose lines you're reading between, because
That's
some of these reporters, they do not do the best of jobs at reporting.
yeah, and they got an
And,
agenda.
and they could be pointing towards one thing, and it's not like that at all behind
Yeah.
the scenes. Like, for example, like last offseason, how Dante Thornton was being built up as this great player, which
Mhm.
is nice. It's nice hearing that he's doing good. But then after the season's over, we come to find out that all of his greatness that was being blown up by the media, it was based off of one play.
Yeah. It was
And there
a
was
slant he ran by people.
yeah, and there was
That was
no
it.
other news after that. And they kept building him up. And then look, Dante Thornton was set up, or setup's not right. He was given the opportunity to perform and he wasn't ready.
Mhm.
And it looked very bad for him. And then he
Mhm.
ends up getting benched, and I think coached poorly. I thought he was done a disservice by the coaching staff because I think he does have a lot of talent. He could be a decent receiver in the
Mhm.
NFL. Uh, but that coaching roster we had last year was just absolutely disaster across the board, and I think it hurt Thornton. But Spytech has talked about Thornton and Besh, about them being at the building every day in the off season, coming in, doing their what they need to get done to get stronger and faster, and hopefully they can build off of that.
And
But
that's
again,
just
sorry for rambling, but
eh,
my main point was you got to look at whose lines you're reading in between.
yeah.
And a lot of the Raiders inside reporters are not the greatest. But that's also not necessarily their fault because the Raiders do a very good job at staying hush hush.
Yeah, which is good. Really, in all honesty, it's good. I know it kind of leaves us some of us are hardcore fans that want to know every little tidbit, you know. But it's a good thing that they're keeping a lot of it hush hush. I mean, Kubiak has come out and exemplified some of the guys, that are in camp in a roundabout way, but I don't think he's gone over the top with it. Um, I know he made a comparison of one of his former players with the current player on the Raiders roster and kind of threw everybody in a whirlwind, but it's just his perspective of who he believes his kid could be. Right?
Yeah.
He's not. From what my take on it was, it wasn't saying, "Oh, he's just as good as." No, I didn't get that. I just saw he kind of fits that mold a little bit and can be that player if he takes those steps. So, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to see if that kid. I know he's going into his fourth year, but there's been a lot of really good, legendary Raider wide receivers, and it took them 3 years, 4 years before they start clicking.
Yeah.
Two of our best
Absolutely.
receivers of all times. Tim Brown wasn't a starting wide receiver until his third year in the NFL.
Well, didn't he also get hurt though in year two?
His second year, he got his first year. He was behind um, Fernandez and Galt, and then his second year he got hurt. Basically, I think it was the first game of the season against San Diego on a kick return.
Yeah.
I just remember he got caught. He almost scored and he got caught and he blew his knee out. And I was like, oh, we were looking so forward to him returning kickoffs this year. And then the third year, I think it was midway through his third year. That's when the transition happened between Shanahan and Shell. And Shell was more like, that kid can be a Hall of Fame receiver someday.
Yeah. And then
And
wasn't the other receiver that took till year three to really start shining was Branch, right?
Cliff Branch, yeah, couldn't catch a cold in winter.
Yeah.
No,
His first two seasons were really rough,
yep,
but he kept working at it. In year three, he came out, and then he was great ever since.
no, no. And sometimes that happens with wide receivers. Now, running backs, obviously, when you come out, you're highly drafted. You should hit the ground running. You should be if you're that legit, you should be doing it right here, right now.
Yeah, running
You
backs
know,
are a little different just because they're
yeah,
kind of put on a timer a
yeah.
quicker timer than everyone else.
Oh yeah, yeah. Their career clock is ticking in the moment they put the helmet and shoulder pads on. Whereas Some of the other players, your left tackles and your quarterbacks and your wide receivers, they can play 12, 13, 15 years, you know,
Yeah.
and so you don't have to rush it as much with them. So, and that brings up a good question for tonight's show with OTAs and things like that, and seeing what our number one pick, where our number one pick is right now. The depth chart really doesn't mean anything in OTAs. Let's be honest. But having him running with the 2s and the 3s for now is not a bad thing. Some people are saying, "Oh, they're no." Let him do that, because you need that veteran quarterback, i.e., Kirk Cousins, has been around a while, to help the other 10 guys get better,
Yeah.
right? So if you try and take one guy that's got to try and raise his game to the NFL level, plus you got guards and receivers that are still trying to elevate their game, it's just doing it all together sometimes doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. It may have in the past, but sometimes it doesn't. So being diligent and smart about it and knowing who your players are. And if you have what I like is there's a plan in place, right? So they're just not going to go out and just on the whim of a musical note say, "Oh, we're just going to do this now," and shift tides. They're pretty much staying with the plan. And I truly believe that if Fernando Mendoza does come out in preseason and show he's that much better, I still wouldn't be opposed to them not starting him right away. But if that's their plan. Now, there's a give and take on that. He is the number one pick overall. He should be starting day one, right? Because ultimately, there's a reason why we picked him, was because he's better than what we had, and he needs to be the number one quarterback. But there's nothing wrong with being patient with it as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of examples on waiting is the right thing to do, and then there's plenty of examples on starting day one's the right thing to do. Ultimately, it's the franchise that's responsible for setting him up for success when he does play. So you can argue that we don't have the team right now to help him out, but then again, he was picked number one overall, so he needs to be at a level where he can elevate the team a little bit himself too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a hand in hand thing.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'd like him to start as soon as possible, but if they decide to hold him back and sit him, that's their choice. I'm not going to be upset about it.
As long as I can see the vision and understand it and it makes sense, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It's not, but if they're just going to throw him to the wind, throw him out there, see what happens type thing, and he's not ready, or, because, and I don't care how good you were in college, when you get to the pros, the success of whether you're the number one quarterback pick taken in the draft or the number 500 quarterback taken in the draft, you're still going to have a learning curve. It's going to be a while. It could be 6 weeks. It could be 10 weeks. It could be 3 weeks. But there's still going to be some type of a learning curve. And you don't want to ruin the guy, per se, by just throwing him out there just because. Just because, we're going to make the fans happy. Let's just throw him out there. No, do it the right way. If he's ready, play him. Play him.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. If he's ready and he's right there with Kirk, I would say we should play him. Yeah. But the other thing, though, is the offensive line ready? Are they going to be able to block for him? If they can't block decently, do we really want Mendoza there to be taking those hits?
No.
I mean, that's kind of why I would rather have Kirk sit there and try to figure it out during the whole season.
Let him get beat up a little bit. He's, and Kirk's 39 years old, or going to be 39 years old. So we didn't bring him. He's not the franchise quarterback, guys.
No.
He's not the franchise quarterback. He's coming in for a purpose. He knows what his purpose is. He knows his role. That's why that contract was drafted, and he signed it the way it's constructed. He knows his role.
That contract is to buy time for Mendoza to be ready, and then if they decide Mendoza isn't the guy by the end of the year, then they keep Kirk on until we can figure out who the guy is. That's worst case scenario.
Yep.
But I'm more than willing to count on Mendoza as the guy, and they're going to roll that way. And I don't see Kirk Cousins being on the roster next season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I don't see it either. In fact,
it's mainly to buy time to make sure Mendoza is ready when they do put him in.
Yeah. Now, where do we go with AOC?
I honestly think he will be part of the roster the whole season. And possibly they re-sign him to be the backup quarterback for the next few years after the season. Because Mendoza does end up being the guy, and then they do cut Kirk or trade Kirk.
Yeah, I think he's just not going to we're going to release him next year pursuant to that way that contract's drafted. So Robert Pena's coming in. What are Cousins' career numbers? Do you know? Off the top of my head, he's got a lot of 4,000-yard passing seasons. I think there's like 8. I think he's got 8 4,000-yard passing seasons. He from week 1 to week 17, he's a phenomenal quarterback. This is where Kirk Cousins struggles. When the bright lights are on, Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night, he struggles in those games. He doesn't have very good win percentage. And he's only won 1 playoff game out of 4, which is twice as many as what Derek Carr won. And we had him for 9 seasons. So the idea behind Kirk Cousins is to solidify the position, right the ship, and let the young man come in and do what we drafted him to do. This is take over this franchise and lead it in the right direction.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I don't know his stats, but I mean, he's been a solid NFL quarterback, like middle of the road quarterback.
Here's a good stat question.
Definitely needs that team built up around him, like how Minnesota was with at the time Stephon Diggs and then a rookie Justin Jefferson after that.
Oh, yeah. And Jalen Naylor.
Did he play with Naylor? I thought they drafted Naylor after Cousins was gone.
This will be, I think this is Naylor's going into his 5th season.
Oh, then yeah, he played with Kirk. Because Kirk was in Minnesota from 2018 through 2023. He was with Atlanta the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Pulling up his stats, career-wise, he's played 174 games. And he started 167 of those. And his record is 88 wins, 77 losses, and 2 ties. And then he has a career completion percentage of 66.7%.
That's solid.
With 44,700 yards, 298 touchdowns, and 131 interceptions.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And how many years?
He was drafted in 2012.
So 14, 15, going in his 15th year.
Yeah.
So, and he's only got 130 interceptions. Oh. So that brings me to the next one. Next poll. Which quarterback is the Raiders' leader in interceptions? Type 1 for Jamarcus Russell. Type 2 for Derek Carr. Type 3 for Rich Gannon. Or type 4 for Ken Stabler.
I think it's Derek Carr.
Okay.
I mean, Jamarcus Russell didn't play long enough. Rich Gannon, I don't think, played long enough. Because I think Carr was with the Raiders longer than both of those guys. The only other one would be Stabler, but they didn't throw the ball as much when he was playing. It could be Stabler, though. Because wasn't Stabler kind of up and down?
Can't give away the answer.
I know. But I think it's Carr.
I can tell you this. You're close. You're real close. But anybody in the chat, you want to punch in the number? Who do you think holds the record for the most interceptions by a Raiders quarterback? Type 1 for Jamarcus Russell, type 2 for Derek Carr, type 3 for Rich Gannon, type 4 for Ken Stabler. I was looking to present a nice little trivia game tonight, had it all prepared, and then I dumped the file on accident when I went to transfer it over. So I use Apple, so I got to convert it over to I got to convert it so Microsoft will read it properly. And yeah, lo and behold, I hit the wrong button. Geez, Jeff knows I always hit the wrong button. I can end the live stream just like that, huh? But
yeah,
look at see, yeah. Sacktown went to high school with Kenny Stabler.
Oh, did he?
No, but he's been a Raider fan about 10 years longer than I have, and Kenny Stabler was one of my favorite players. So, but yeah, so far we're looking at Carr and Stabler. I could tell you guys this is really, really close.
Remember, guys, just push the number and hit enter.
Yeah, just push the number and hit enter. Don't type the name, push the number. So 1 for Jamarcus Russell, 2 for Derek Carr, 3 for Rich Gannon, and 4 for Ken Stabler. So, but yeah, I was doing some research on some of my trivia questions and stuff that we'll do it on the next show. I'll have it dialed in for the next show. So, yeah.
What's up, next effect? Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for coming in, next effect. But I'll have it for the next show. And Sacktown, if you're out there and you're hearing this, if you got any good ones that you want to throw at me, bring them in. Only bad thing at Sacktown is a lot of our audience are 2000 and above Raider fans. So when we start diving into our trivia, what we grew up with, then it's going to be, you're going to be like, these kids are going to be like, But there are some that are really, so there's a couple of them that were really interesting with bonus facts that were attached to it that a lot of people would go, huh. Yeah.
Well, I know who holds the sack record for the Raiders, and that's Derek Carr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is total interceptions. This isn't single season interceptions. This is total. So,
well,
but
Jeff is even thrown in by a lot.
Actually, I think it's 10. So the answer is, it is Kenny Stabler with 222 interceptions and Derek Carr at, I believe, was 212. I don't have my notes. It's on the other computer. I'm just going off the top of my head. But if you guys want to, Jeff, if you want to throw it in there and find it real quick, I think Derek had 212 interceptions and Kenny Stabler had 222. So it was close. And you also got to take into consideration their career, the length of their career, the amount of games that they played is about the same as well. Right? Yeah, Kenny Stabler played more playoff games and stuff, but those were 14-game seasons too back then. So by the time they played the playoffs and the Super Bowl, 17 games, whereas Derek Carr was playing 16 games and only one playoff game he played in. Yeah. So maybe, you know what? Now I think it was touchdowns to interception. Like I said, don't quote me on the numbers because I don't have it with me. It's on the other computer, and life's not feeling too good, so I got to stay away from. Yeah, see, Stabler had 130 games, Carr had 140. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Carr had 9 years, Stabler had 8 years, or no, he wasn't the starter very long. So you gotta remember he was on the taxi squad for 2 years. Oh, and then he was a backup to Daryl LaMonica. And it was, I believe, in 72 is when he finally started the game. So
73.
Was it 70? Well, the Immaculate Reception was in 72. So because I was born January 6, 1973, and Immaculate Reception happened before I was born.
Stabler like you said, was on the taxi squad for the first 2 years, but his second year, he ended up starting a game, so he came
Okay.
off the taxi squad.
Yeah. Which is what they called the practice squad back then.
And then 72, he also had 1 game started.
Yeah.
And 73, he had 11 started.
Okay. And then that went all the way till 79 because he got traded in 79.
Yeah, 79. And he went to Houston for 2 seasons, and then he went to New Orleans to finish his career.
So Sacktown has a question here. What Raider linebacker leads all time for the Raiders in career sacks? Linebacker that has the most sacks. I might know.
Isn't that Sacktown Mike's favorite player? Didn't he already have that trivia like our first or second podcast?
He did.
Yeah.
Back when we started messing around with this stuff. So yeah, it's great, Beaker. Thanks, Sacktown. But yeah, I want to do something like that. And the program that I have, once I get it to figure out how to convert the proper way, we can do it. It's actually looks pretty cool. I had I showed you the demo last weekend, I think it was. Yep. I had 4 presentations on it, and it worked pretty good then, but that was just a cookie cutter. That wasn't, that was just an example. It wasn't nothing great, but hey, we've been going at this for an hour and 10 minutes. Had a lot of fun. We got to keep this cycle going. If any of you guys got any comments or questions out there, let me know. Skipper's in here roasting people. No. Rest in peace, Rod Martin, 33 sacks.
Skipper's in here roasting you.
Yeah. Yep. So looking forward to him getting to go to a home game this year. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
I know we've only been friends for a couple of years, but man, to be as hardcore of a Raider fan as he is and never been to a Raider home game, I like to see that. I like to see him get out to Vegas and see a home game. So if they were still in Oakland, I'd have taken care of that last year. It's like, yeah, you're flying into Sacramento. Here's your tickets. Fly into Sacramento. I'm picking you up. Come stay here, and we'll drive to the game in the morning. So
a little different being in a different state.
Yeah, and I think Bart, drive over to Pleasanton, get on Bart. You're at the stadium within 20 minutes. Takes like an hour and 10 minutes total if you use Bart. It's an hour and a half if you drive.
Yeah.
Give or take a few minutes. Just depends on how the Altamont and going into 68 the switch on I think it's 238 from 580 to 238. Because it chokes down. And it kind of gets backed up. It depends, and it depends on what time of the morning that you hit it. So sometimes if you hit it 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, it's not too bad. But if you're running a little bit late, 9:30, 10 o'clock, man, those stadium lines on Hagenberg are already backing up to the connector way downtown. So, but yeah, it was. But you'll like Vegas. And being able to walk into that stadium and go, this is our stadium, and it is badass. There is no doubt about it. It's a beautiful stadium. All the amenities are perfect. The sound, the sight lines, everything is just, you couldn't ask for a better stadium. The only thing that does suck is the tailgates are nothing like what Oakland was. You'll never be able to top that. And I'm curious to see how Buffalo does this year with the Bills Mafia and how because they tailgated kind of the same way that we did in Oakland. Very, just super powerful. But I'm curious with their new stadium opening up this year, just how much tailgating they allow. So I know Mark Davis had his vision for Vegas was he didn't want to take away the tailgate experience. Well, guess what? You did. It's not the same.
Yeah. So did you want to reveal the answer for the leader in interceptions?
It's Kenny Stabler.
Yeah.
Kenny Stabler.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was between those two, but I thought Carr had it. But
Yeah.
I started looking at Stabler's stats after I answered, and it's like he had some very terrible seasons when it came to interceptions.
Yeah, he threw a lot of picks. A lot of
Yeah.
picks. Yeah, and
One
Jim
season
Plunkett
he
did
had
too.
30.
Yeah, Jim Plunkett did too. I mean, it wasn't like our holy grail of quarterbacks weren't perfect by any means. So what's up, Bueno? Get my new refrigerator on Tuesday, brother. So we're gonna have to have my refrigerator subscribe to your refrigerator's channel. So,
Yeah. I just created a poll.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Throw it up there.
If I can throw it up there. If I can figure out how to do this. It keeps telling me I can only have one poll active.
Well, that's why you go.
There we go. Stop that poll. Okay.
Stop the poll.
Technology. Technology.
Mhm.
But my poll is, which one of our receivers will have the biggest impact for this year?
This might be cause for concerns here.
Yeah.
But if you guys are interested, this is actually a pretty good one. Press 1 for Trey Tucker, press 2 for Jalen Naylor, press 3 for Jack Besh. Which one of these three will have the biggest impact on our team next year?
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I think it'll be Trey Tucker just because of how he's been talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But in our Discord, and someone who we've had on the show a few times now, Darkside, he thinks Jack Besh may be a sneaky choice because he sees Jack Besh being on the field a lot more as like a small tight end in certain packages as well as the slot because of his blocking ability.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, to get receptions, you need to be on field. And if you're on the field a lot more because you're able to block well, that could present opportunities for you.
Yeah. The one thing to be said about Jack Besh is when he was given the opportunities and the balls were thrown to him, he did catch them and he made first downs.
Yeah.
There's just not enough substance there with him to be quite honest with you, to even evaluate him. I know, a lot of people you'll refer back to his TCU days and things like that, but he does have some good wide receiver qualities to him. It's just a matter of, can we untap what he has and bring it to the forefront? And he physically looks a lot different too.
Yeah. And I saw Jeff said that his pick isn't on the list.
Yeah.
I kept it to specifically receivers. So go ahead and write your receiver if
No.
it's not on the list.
Now we're getting a little personal, little something. I think Bueno's
forth.
Yeah, they're going back and forth. So we're here running a live show watching you guys go at it. It's like,
yeah.
It's like
Bueno's saying the offseason fatigue kicked in for me finally. I mean, yeah. I feel it. Because nothing of actual substance is going to be brought out until probably, what do you think, late July?
Well, I believe training camp usually starts sometime around July 15th to the 20th, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I know the skipper had the date. I don't have the date. The skipper had the date the other night. And but yeah, that rubber meets the road, Dan.
Yeah. But like, as far as training camp goes, to me, it's kind of more of the same stuff. Like, yeah, they get pads on it for a few days, and you kind of actually see who they're actually going to place where on the starting depth chart because that's usually more accurate. But until they do like the joint practices, like that's where the real news starts coming out for me.
Right
around that joint practice time.
Yeah, and we're practicing with the Texans this year. Couldn't ask for a better team to practice against.
Yeah, and that'll be kind of exciting for a lot of Raider fans, possibly just because they're pick in the second round, who they traded for from us, was the nose tackle from was it Ohio State? McDonald?
Yeah, McDonald from Ohio State.
A lot of Raider fans wanted him to be drafted in the second round.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
I was one of them. And I thought even when they traded back to 38, I didn't think Houston was going to take him. I thought Houston was going to be more along the lines of wide receiver because they're
No.
because of Nico. They're looking to replace Tank Dell. I don't think Tank Dell is going to come back.
But they already did that with last year's draft.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to go receiver. I definitely thought they were going to go offensive line.
Mm-hmm. My wildest man. When they picked him, I was like, but really, in all honesty, their defensive line it's their outside edges and their linebackers and their secondary that make that defense. You just throw that guy in there, it's like, oh, makes sense. Now it went from a bully to a beast real quick.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, if he ends up hurting our offensive line during the joint practices, then I think it might end up being safe to say that we missed out.
Yeah.
But
and it just depends on how our second round pick does too. You gotta put the two in the same, line them both up the same starting line and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So
Stooks could end up being a very great player for us too.
Yeah.
So
and McDonald could be a bust.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen some really good defensive tackles come out of college, and they were just horse manure in the pros. So who knows? It's all about. It's so funny because the entire draft is just a crapshoot, really, in all honesty. Until you see some absolutes, and you'll see a guy that goes, he's going to be a great NFL player,
Yeah.
And mine this year was Caleb Downs. Jordan Love, I think, he's going to be good for. I don't know how long he'll be good, but he's going to hit the ground running. He'll get a lot of love no pun intended, when the season kicks off. But Caleb Downs, of course, same last name. So what? Don't care. He's legit. He was legit his whole 4 years in college. So, and he played at two of the most premier universities in college football. So,
Bueno's hoping the Teron Johnson stuff is settled by then. I think we'll definitely know by the time mandatory minicamp runs around whether Teron Johnson shows up or not.
Yeah.
I don't. With how our draft was, I'm not as worried about Teron Johnson being there or not. I mean, he's a very good slot corner and has a lot of experience and a lot of good experience where he's been very successful. So it's always nice to have a guy like that playing. But with our draft, I'm not as worried anymore.
I still want that veteran presence, though. He does have that veteran presence. So.
But we also have Chen and the safety position who's going to help out a lot. And I have a lot of faith in Chen. I really like him. We got Jack Kenna stopping by. Salute.
What's up, Jack? Salute. The 00 hero right there. But hey, it's been a good time tonight. Kind of wish that program would have worked. Like I said, I gotta dig into it a little bit. We'll make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting. But when the season gets going, what do you guys think? You guys think we should do Sunday afternoons after the games? So we don't have any Sunday night games. So I'm not opposed to coming on live half hour, 45 minutes after the game. So show me your shield, get some fans to get in here and talk football. So
we got a long ways till the season starts too, though.
Yeah. And there's some of our regulars, as you guys can tell, Bueno and Pena and whatnot. There's a lot of guys that we've been around with this whole journey for the last 6-8 months that aren't in here because it's just this time of year is just difficult. I mean, you're starting to see some content creators are coming up with things that aren't even football related, just to kind of, and I don't want to do that with this. But if you like and you subscribe, and especially with today's show, get the word out, pass it around, let people hit those thumbs up. that algorithm will kick. And then as we go in, more things are to come about
Yeah.
with this show, Raider Nation Voices, Coast to Coast, and anything else that 401 Raider Jeff decides to pull out of his pocket and throw up on the screen. We get those going and we start building this franchise up. And Raider Nation Voices on Saturday nights we're going to hit that hard, guys. So you guys be ready. Got a lot of good things coming with that program and this program too, because the professor here, a lot of knowledge, man. Young kid is hungry to see a team win. Have you ever seen a Raiders winning season?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm old enough for that.
Okay. Just double checking.
Yeah. No, I went to a Super Bowl party when I was real young.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I started off with the Raiders being very, very good, and then it fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Now, your dad made you a Raider fan?
I mean, not really. I mean, I don't know how to put it. It's not like he forced it upon me. It's like he was a Raider fan, so I wanted to be a Raider fan,
Okay.
and I bought in. So, I mean, he would say that there's no way I could be a fan of any other team under his household, but like he never forced it upon me. Like I found football, I liked the Raiders, like so it was kind of just natural for me.
Yeah. And my dad didn't do that. My dad was the same way. He didn't force it on me. It was just he loved Raiders football, and it's just like a lot of kids, they gravitate to their fathers certain things, and that was one of them. I just took it to a different level. My fandom is probably 3 times greater than what his was. He would have a Raiders hat or something like that, and that's pretty much it. Now everything had to be Raiders. Every Christmas I get something Raiders, and it's just like it all adds up, and it's like I got so much Raider stuff now. I can populate my walls behind me, but I don't like clutter. But I do have to give a shout out to my son, Andrew. Graduated this week from Stanislaus State University here in Turlock, California, Stanislaus County. Duncan, you know where that's at. 2 degrees in 4 years, two undergrad degrees in 4 years, and with honors, 3.9 GPA. And he received a Dean's Award for his department, which is only given out exclusively to the top student in that department. So he earned that. So shout out to him. So as a tribute to him, and on my podcast, look over my shoulder here. I said, I'm taking down one of my jerseys, if you don't mind. I'd like to hang your gown and your strappe and ropes. Because you talk about a proud papa, man, watching your son not just walk across stage once with a degree, but twice in 1 week. Man. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shout out to Andrew. Phenomenal kid, man. Super smart. Got it from me. So, yeah. Hour and a half, my friend. I'm ready to wrap.
Oh, it was a fun Sunday.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys all joined us. Shout out to Bueno, Jack Kenna, Sacktown Mike came in. It was coming in. I myself, who's your pick for the chatter of the night?
I want to find the comments just to make sure I don't mix up who was saying it. I want to say it was Robert Pena for me.
Yeah.
Pena came in with some very accurate
good
takes.
Yes. So salute to Robert Pena, our chatter of the night. We'll embrace that. And like I said, once we get this show rolling, get the subscriptions up, start doing more things, we'll make the chatters make it worthwhile for you guys. But in the meantime, we've had fun on a Sunday night. Hit those bells, those notifications, all when we're bringing some content out to you. anything pops up in the next 6 weeks that we think might need some addressing, we'll get it to you on this channel with 401_Raider_Jeff Productions. His channel, my channel, Duncan's channel. If you guys haven't subscribed to Duncan's channel, go over to his channel and subscribe.
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we're trying to get his up. I'm getting pretty close. I need a few more, but those will start to hit once the season starts. I know it for sure. But yeah, shout out to Rob Pena tonight. Thank you so much for your input, my friend. And like I always say, once a Raider, always a Raider, I guess, right? We're always Raiders. Raider Nation forever. Shout out to you guys. Have a good night, guys.
Cold open, counted out. Yeah, we heard the talk. Cold nights and long losses, still we walk. Scoreboard hurt, but the heart stayed real. Still wear the black, still flash the shield. From Oakland roots to Vegas dust, pain in the season, but we still trust. They say it's over, I say move on, but